Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the zombie... Nope. This is under construction, not the zombie train. I am the Admiral. I really had a great intro last time, and I forgot how I did it. I think it was in the zombie train that I did it properly. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Admiral. I'm Admiral Ellis. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Anyway, we're here in Mason's Landing. And I'm really liking how this is coming out, so I'm going to continue with what I've been doing. With a little bit of a detour to do some signaling on the trolley line. Now, I'm running into a peculiar sort of issue, which is that I can't make the menu long enough to see all the track marks, or, well, I still can for now, but I'm sure that it will become an issue sooner rather than later. I'm not looking forward to trying to figure out how to fix that. So, if you guys have any sort of commands and whatnot that you think could be useful, say so, and I'd love to poke at them, just to see if they could be useful. So anyway, yeah, here we are. We're in Mason's Landing, and I had come on earlier in the week to see if I could, nail down the trolley stuff a little bit more. Because, honestly, if we could get the trolley system operating under a 24-hour schedule, then it would be a huge step for the automation of Tolbrand. Because it would prove that that sort of thing can be done. It would be really difficult to program, but it would be possible. It would be really difficult to troubleshoot is what. I would have to leave it for 24 hours. Which, damn, that's a long time. That's a whole day. And just come back and see if it's still working. I would probably be able to see some other stuff. That's not what I grabbed. I would probably be able to see some other stuff happen that otherwise wouldn't, and I could get a little bit farther with some other automation, like, there's some stuff that's waiting for me to automate over in Olive, still, believe it or not. Because of the intermodal train that comes in. The pigs train. Piggybacks. That needs to be automated. I haven't done that one yet. And I do want to do it, I just haven't gotten around to it. The trolleys have been my main sort of the elephant in the room for me lately. That's what they've been. And it's nice to make some progress on them, but obviously there are many other things for me to make progress on. Now, I'm doing this on Sunday morning. And if you think that it was a mistake to have waited this long to do it, then you're probably right, and I would agree with you. But I completely forgot on Thursday because Thursday was a holiday. And then Friday and Saturday I was totally screwed. I had no time to do anything of the sort. So, while Thursday I did get plenty of stuff done, none of it was here on Tolbrand, and that's not good. Which means everything has to get packed in today, including the podcast, which is bound to happen a little bit later today. I hope it does, because if we have to put it off longer, things are going to get a little bit tricky. But, I'm going to do my best with getting everything done. I don't know. I want to get done some important stuff today. And that's really the signaling thing, so that I can work on some more stuff off camera. But, at the same time, I really want to get, I really want to see more of this area done. It looks so pretty. I was just poking around here in Driver before the episode started, just looking at stuff, and gosh, it's really pretty. It's come out really good so far. I'm really happy with it. And the more I look at it, the happier I get. This might be one of my favorite areas that we've made so far. in terms of scenery. Because it's not so boring. Some of the areas we made are kind of boring. A lot of it's suburbia. This sort of breaks that mold. This isn't just your normal boring suburbia. This is something totally different. And I'm thoroughly enjoying that. I think I need some chain link fence over here. So last time we made this is also... I like this. This little ferry... not ferry terminal. This, tram terminal that we made. Okay, so let me see... I need this fence, because this is a good chain link fence. I'm not really sure I want to have this set up. I just know I want a fence here, because I feel like there needs to be one. Back in my day, there weren't fences anywhere. Snap that, and that. Now we have some more fences. I'm not really sure if I want to put anything here. Maybe some cars in a little while, but that's kind of it. And that makes that train a little bit longer. So what do we want to do? Do we want to work on these, or do we want to continue the beach? I think I want to continue the beach right now. That's like I'm sort of looking forward to doing more terrain work, but I really do want to see this whole area through. I mean, I'm looking forward to moving up to 2019 is what. Alright, come on. Okay, so this whole area, this is a lot of beach. And I know some areas with about this much beach, or, give or take. But, damn, it is quite a bit. I was down the beach yesterday. That's where I was all day. Call me lazy, but hey, I've got to have a day off, once in a while. But really, I was down there for a pretty good sized family celebration, and the fireworks, the Roy Carpenter's Beach fireworks, which I love going to. I haven't been to in a number of years. I haven't been to them in so long that they actually changed where they are. They moved them from on the beach to at the other end of all the cottages behind the fire barn, which makes sense because, fire. But I was just like, wait, where are we going? Why are we going this way? And my cousin John, he thought the same thing, because he hadn't been down there for fireworks in several years either. And I was like, don't feel bad. I thought the same thing as you. We went down. It was a spectacular fireworks display. And 4th of July, 4th of July, I'm really kicking myself that I forgot it was Thursday, because I spent almost the entire day here doing nothing. I spent it, on the Minecraft server. I spent it playing XCOM, which I've gotten back into XCOM. I should have recorded that. But it's sort of like my sit here and be angry game. Although maybe I could do a... if I beat it, maybe I'll do a series after that. I don't know. I know strategy games aren't the biggest hit on this channel. Because, well, you're not really here for strategy games. You're here for trains. But, could still do that. Okay, we got lots of beach. I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm liking it. That's how it goes. So let's make this smaller. Let's make this... Let's see if we can line this up with the edge at all. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh man, the urge to hold... Ooh, I did it again. Damn it, I did it. The urge to hold, this is really, it's great. And it's not good. There we go. To hold bracket to spin the texture, just to make everything good. It's too damn high. Alright, so I gotta fill in these fields, I gotta get the area around them, and I gotta start doing signals. Now, I hope everyone had a great 4th of July, even if you're not an American. I just hope you had a great day. If you are an American, I hope you saw some awesome fireworks. And hopefully you have all the fingers that you started with. You know, a couple days ago, you might have lost some of those. And, I mean, yeah, America. Not too much else to say. I went on my political rant last time. So, although that wasn't really that much of a rant. I try not to rant so much as just think, you know? But, you know, maybe that's just me being like, oh, I'm superior because I don't rant. I just think. I'm an intellectual. Can I rotate that just a little bit more? Oh, that made it worse. Maybe it's ranting. I don't know. About this. I think I've used this before. Yeah. That's fine by me. I actually quite like this texture. I do like this texture. Come on, and there. And there. And there. And there. And there. And the other stuff. Did I use that? Oh yeah, I used that one right there. Ah, whatever. There are only so many farmland textures that are of any use. The real thing is, what texture am I going to use for the fields, for the cow pastures and stuff? I don't know. I don't know what I want to use for that. I'll think about it some more. If you guys have a good texture. I think it's going to be sort of like a tan grassy sort of look. But it might also be just like a really grassy sort of look. I'm not sure. It couldn't be that tall and thick. Not that it's going to be tall, because I'm probably not going to go over it with splines, because that would be a lot of spline work. But, you know, it's worth saying that it probably will be. Just thinking about what kind of grass would be there, realistically. You got to spend a lot of time thinking about these things, silly as it sounds. You do. And the fact that we do means that we get a better quality map. You can suspend your disbelief a little bit more when it comes to it, when it comes down to it. Okay. So, we don't have any comments this week, which is unfortunate, because we haven't gone food shopping here in a while, so I'm kind of hungry. So I'm a little bit scatterbrained, more than usual. I try to make the videos when I'm, you know, not totally out of it, per se. But, you know, today I didn't really have much of an option. Madison is going to go food shopping a little bit later, but unfortunately, that's a little bit later. I act like I'm incapable of it. I'm not. I can go food shopping, but because I have all these videos to make today, I was like, can you take the list and go do that? Because I know, you know, she's going to be home all day. Oh, crap. I don't want to put that grass in front of the building. So, you know, I'll just take that freebie. Alright, this is what you can do. You can be very useful today. Alright, I'm tired of texturing already. Let's go put up some signals. So, I need NYCTA. Here we go. I'm mostly looking for the simple ones, the 3.0, because these are your tram signals. And this is just a little bit hovering, I think. But what are you going to do? Just trying to move this off the shoulder. And the goal is to have some of these, signals as, like, just to set them up for the sake of not, God damn it, I can't put words in. The trams keep driving backwards. And I need to stop that. I need to fix that. So, in order for that to not be a problem, I'm deciding to put up these signals because, well, I don't want to have them driving backwards. Instead of using invisible signals all the time, which is what we've been doing, which I don't like to do. I don't like invisible signals. It feels like a cop-out to me. There are some instances where we do have to use them, but yeah, I don't like using them in general. Okay. Let's get these trolley poles in. Of course, they're not going to be perfect because we're trying to match curves with straight lines, and in reality, the way that you would stretch a trolley wire around a corner was pretty complicated. If you ever go to a place with actual, overhead wire for their trolleys, that still exists, you can really see how they did that and how much of a pain in the neck it is to go around a corner like that. Because you don't want to stretch the, you don't want to have the trolley pole swing out too far, or else it'll just pop off. It's physics. Okay, so we're going to go this way. Just trying to go down the center line. I know full well that that's not super precise, honestly, but it's the best we've got. Oh, crap. Now here's the other thing. So now that we have these set up like this, I'm going to try to mount, quote unquote, mount the signals. Oh, you know what? I can't because they're too close. Well, I'll try to mount them close. I wanted to mount them to the actual posts. But the other thing I could do is I could use invisible signals elsewhere and not... I could use invisible signals elsewhere and save these for the actual trolley stop so that I can run trolleys close together, but it still looks like there are signals. I'm going to try to do it without doing that. Okay. Actually, I kind of want... What were these for? They look good, but... Oh, that's the left side. How come I can't put one of these on the right, for God's sake? Oh, RP. Oh, you know what? Are the difference between the transit styles and the NYTCA just where the red is? No. Oh, whoops. So we have these two. What is there a difference? I'm not sure. I'm trying to... Okay. So I want to have these guys... Oh, crap. Just give me a trolley or something. It's got to compile all the scripts, got to load all the content, pre-cache this and pre-cache that. I just want to be able to set up a thing so that you can see if you're running a trolley into there. Alright, fine, let's go back to what we were doing. 3, 3, 3. I want more 3 and O's. Particularly I want a left-hand one here. We need basically a reversing signal at every station. Just to keep them from driving backwards. And I really just need sort of like queuing signals at every station. So, one there, and one there, and I'll have to put a station over here. And I kind of want the blocks to be farther apart. There are only 4 trolleys now. I reduced the number. So, it's really not that big of a deal if we have very few signals. But I'll have to really test it out and play with it just to see if, well, if it works properly or not. The center beam. I thought it was a center cap. Okay, so this is yellow. Which way is it going? Whoops. Can I, like, set these guys up? No, it should be green. Yep. And the bottom one isn't on at all. So I don't know how that works. Hold on, let's... Interlocking. Oh, it's not moving because I didn't. What? How come it's not doing anything now? Nope. I want to see this. Block length. Some type of interlocking. Diverging route is to the left, yes. That red light goes off. Oh, because it would be yellow, but that is missing. I see. But that one is blocked out. Okay, hold on. We need to get the right signal for this then. .313, that's like a gantry version. 312? Yeah, maybe something like this. Well, let's see how this reacts if we do that. And then reset it briefly. That turns off. I don't know how these work. I really don't. It's just going to be us playing with signals. Well, let's try one of these. Is that a covered signal head there? I can't tell. Diverging direction left. Okay, so that just turns off. I don't get it. I don't get it. How does this work? Route speed restricting. What do the different route speeds show as? Oh, there we go. Wait a minute, what if I, let me play with the one that we had a minute ago. I'll save this one because I think it's useful. But we had a 3-0, or no, a 3-2. And if we set this to, it's an interlocking, switch direction left, route speed restricting, I think that's the slowest it goes. Nope. Let's poke at the route speed some more. Limited. I don't know what the different speeds actually are. I don't know what it means. What does it mean? No, that probably doesn't help. I just want basic. Slow. Was he slow? Okay, so that doesn't change anything. Okay, I guess we'll just have better luck with this one. Which still doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but hey, you know, if it works, it works. I also probably want manual switch throws right there, because when else would we need something else? Yeah, you, give me you. The New Century switch. Seems like overkill for these, but I'll use it anyway. Oh, it's sunk in the ground. You know what? Let's just use invisible levers. We've been using them just fine. Lever invisible. Invisible. And there. Okay, so now we have that set up, sort of. We have that signal there. I need to delete this tram. Actually, you know what? I need to move this signal. Although, no, I don't. We'll just use the gates. Same thing with here. I'll use the tram signal things. Although, let me think real quick. Where are you? And give me these back. Oh, crud. We used, a middle trim north end. Let's see if I can just swap these and not have it be pissed off. That's what it was, right? Okay, let's see. Oh, it's up there. Oh, this is going to be one of these, huh? We're just going to be playing with this the entire episode. There's something so simple. Oh, right. It's one of these. ML tram. What was it? East in? No. No. It was north in. Okay, it doesn't seem like it's pissed off, so I think it's fine. Okay, so we need to figure out what kind of signals we want to use here. Because... well, because we kind of want to use some good signals here. Probably these big ones, or something like that. One of these. So one of these. I'll leave the out signals as the same. ML tram north in. Do we have like a 303 or a 330? Yeah, we do. I want the right side. Whoops. Yeah, one of these. And then we'll edit it later. ML tram north in. And then this is ML tram east in. ML tram east in. And then ML tram south in. Okay. So we have these guys. I will briefly set them up so that you have interlocking switch direction left is diverging. Here right is diverging, that's fine. And here right is diverging. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So we have those guys set up. We need to get rid of some of these signals. But that is fine. I think here is a good spot for a set of signals. Ooh. Okay. Actually, maybe it's not a good spot. Maybe we should have had them farther down. Again, how many trams are really going to be on this line? How close do we want them, honestly? Spin this guy around. Alright. Get rid of these two. Get rid of these two. These two are pretty close together. that is its own signal. And I will add one there and one here just to sort of reinforce that. Yep. Okay. And to act as preludes to this, oops, I made two of them. Didn't mean to do that. We'll just have one on this side of the bridge too. We do have to hook this bridge up at some point. That's going to be another endeavor, but without being able to test it, I'm not certain what I want to do, really. In a way, I kind of wish I could tell trams to pass red signals sometimes. Just, just creep along. Don't hit the thing in front of you, but creep along. Oh, you know what I want, actually? This is one of the spots where I would like a reverse-facing signal. But a left side. Whoops, no. Keep that there. There's no signal to delete right now. Just this one. I don't know where that ends, so it's like right there. Okay. And I want one of these here as well. But not a left side, actually. I want a right side. Right side. And let's just make sure diverging route is left. Okay. Here the diverging route is right. And we need one of these for real up here. No, I wanted to move it. Diverging route is left. And one over here. Diverging route is left. We do also want a left side one over here. The diverging route is right. I should just remember that it always says right. And then I don't need to open the ones that are correct already. Oh hey, I still have a direction marker here. I guess I'll have signals before every intersection. That kind of makes sense. Let's see. If I have a left side one here... Actually, that's kind of an easy out. I'll just have them before every intersection. After every station and before every intersection. Makes actually more sense than maybe I care to admit. Okay, so we have that, we have that, we have that. We have everything here except for one over here. Need it to be left side. Just making sure that it was the right kind of signal, very briefly. Diverging route is to the left. That's fine. Have we done it? Yes. before the intersection and after the before the intersection and before and after every station. To show you can't go backwards. Just to teach these trams you can't go backwards. Before every intersection, before every interlocking. I'm just trying to be consistent with what I'm doing here. I kind of want to move this forward. Hold on. We're going to have to move the stuff on the track back because it was stretching the track out. Oops. I'll keep that there. Alright. Before every intersection, we need a left side. I also need to go back. Oh, hey, look, another intersection. Are these all left side? Damn it. Left sides need to be opposite. On the right side. I think we're gonna confound the problem here. We're gonna end up ruining the, yeah. Okay, major intersections then. So you definitely don't need it. It would be signalized intersections, really. So this one might be, and that one might be. I'm probably not going to bother with it because I'm not Mason. But that's fine. Any other places we should probably have them over here? Can you face it the other direction? I think you can. ML tram south out. And we'll make it a 3-3 stack for the left side. ML tram south out. Diverging direction is right. I also didn't place them over here. Rail tram east out. ML tram north out. There we go. Whoops. Put that back. Diverging direction is to the left. Oh, I also didn't fix you. Diverging direction is to the right. Just had to make sure. I didn't even think about it. I do kind of want advanced signals for these. I know we had them before. I'm just not sure if it's overkill. I guess I'll just put them down. Although over here we have this one. It's almost an advanced signal. But I think actually I want another one over here. And another one over here. Everything should have advanced signals now. Now we just need to set this guy up with it. Set this guy up with, yes it is. See? I told you. I told you so. Okay. We need one that's facing the other direction. And one that's facing the other direction. And this is for if you have a Q here. A QUE. And we'll put one right there. Actually, we'll move it up to there. That's fine. Just to make sure they get off the road, you know? Okay. So, we need to go north of Doe Cliff, or south of Doe Cliff, I guess. That's where we left off with this. Surprising lack of signals up here. Also, I kind of want to get rid of these. They seem to be causing trouble. I need to get rid of these two. Oops. So that will go here. This will go here. I'm just going to try to make it kind of tight to the road. Can't do much about that to prevent queuing. Queuing into the road. You guys know what I mean. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. Get rid of you. So, yeah, here's the deal. I need another signal over here. And I need another signal. I need a left side here. And a left side here. Can't really see, yeah. Let's do that on the road. Okay. Are there any other... Yep, here we are. We will need another set, but let's do it over here by the bridge. Where we've got lots of sight in both directions. That is literally the opposite of what I wanted. Whoa, that was a cool view for half a second. Even with 4 trams in this line, I think the amount of signals we have is pretty overkill. Let's just do it here. Although we are going to have another set right when we get into town, so I don't know how useful this is. And I'll poke around with it after the show and see if I can get everything to work right. So here we go. This is going to be signaling fun. Oh wow, it didn't work. Okay, there we go. And I want another one here. Here I want a 3-3. Right side. And here I want a 3-0. Right side. We need one that's leaving here. We need one for entering here. And we need one for leaving here. The wrong way. I also need one of these on the left side for leaving here the wrong way. And one of these on the left side for entering here the wrong way. Because this is basically an interlocking, we just need to have all our bases covered. And if I ever hook this up as an interlocking, then we will definitely need to have all our bases covered. Yeah. And I probably want one of these on the right here, as if you were backing out back onto the main line. And I want this to be on the left. Just because of the track arrangement, it would help people see it better. Okay. So, let's go down here. We're going to have another set of signals halfway down the road. On the right side and the left side. Or no, just at the right side at this crossing here. There we go. And we're going to have a 3-3-3 here. I need a 3-3-0 here. And let's see, how many options are there here? I need a 3-3-0 left side here. I need a 3-3-3 here, right side. I need a 3-3... No, you know what? I just need a regular one here. That's kind of funny. But that doesn't have any extra routes. This one needs to be a 3-3-0, although realistically you would never use the, I guess, the bottom head, because it would be going into that freight track on the other side. Just need to be able to display that, just in case. And in the old days, it was probably more useful. Nope, I want a left side. On the left side for that. And let's see, we have that, this, and this. Okay, so we have all the signals for here. So that's good. For here, diverging is going to be to the right. Diverging is going to be to the right. Diverging is going to be to the left. In either case, either of these lefts. Let's test this just to see how it acts right now, because I'm curious. So that. Oh, you know what? Let me guess. There's no like buffer blocks or anything in here. Oh, you know what I need? I need those red signs. Let me go grab them, because I'm pretty sure they're over here in the roundhouse. Pick lists for I don't know, people. And I'm no person. Spin that sucker around. Just slide it right into the wall. I'm not sure... Oh, you know what? The wall is totally thick enough for me to hide it inside the wall. That seems like a sound decision. I'm sure I won't ever be looking for it again. Whoa! Okay. What does it look like now? Still green, huh? Oh, wait. I threw the switches back. Shouldn't it be at least yellow? Oh, no, because the track ended. Should be a yellow... No, it shouldn't be on top. This one should work, right? Oh, I probably don't have this lined up either. And these have no buffers, because I forgot to put buffers there. Okay, for now I'll just line it like this. Okay, let's see. What does it look like now? Yellow on the second head. Okay, well, we're going to have to play with that some more. And just see what we can get out of it. But for now, the signals at least are appropriate. I guess that's really the best we can hope for. Yeah. So what are we going to do now? Oh, well, we do have to finish doing the signals. Diverging route on here is to the left. Diverging route on here is also to the left. I set this one up already. That guy doesn't have a diverging route. Diverging route here is to the right. Diverging route here is to the right or to the left, depending on which switch you're talking about. I need to see how this would act right now. Okay, so right now we have it lined to go straight and it's giving us a green. That works. And if I throw this switch, it gives us a red because there's a box card there, okay. If I throw this switch, that's not right. What if I say diverging route is to the left? No, that's not right. So, I will say diverging route is to the right for now. It doesn't really matter. At least, not right now, it doesn't. So, okay, we got those signals hooked up. I'm not sure about signaling this area here. We'll have to come back to that. I still need to do the wires over there. I'm not looking forward to it. It's going to be a little bit messy. I didn't think it would take this much time to do this. I thought this would be like a little, 10-minute side project just to throw some signals down and call it a day. But here we are. 40 minutes later, placing signals. And we're redoing things we've already done. We already placed all these signals. And yet, this is why. When you do something, do it right the first time. I never should have settled for invisible signals. It just wasn't smart. Let's put this over here. I wanted that to be a left side. Oh, wait, no I didn't. I wanted it to be a right side. Because I need to spin that around like that. To show trains. Oh, wait, no, that's a... Idiot, dumb idiot. Left side needs to go over here. And this left side needs to go there. Right side needs to go here. What's the etymology of right and left? That's something interesting to think about. Because we think about right, and it's right as in correct versus right as in your right side. But previously, right and left, they had their own words, or their own fairly unique words, in a way, Sinister and Dexter, which of course are repurposed, or have been repurposed in their own right, with Sinister, of course, and Dexterous, being capable. But, I don't know. I don't know why, Sinister and Dexter would kind of be interesting to use just on a regular basis. I put this here, I guess? What? There's no switch here. Why would we need that? Oh, you know what? I know why. Because that I put there just in case. Or, because I was looking through the signals, right? I was looking through the signals, and I didn't have these 3 O's. I didn't have any of them. And I was like, well, this kind of sucks. We need to figure out one that will be useful to us. Despite the fact that we don't have any 3 O's. Any of the ones that would actually be useful. And then I went back and I found more. I found the 3 O's. But it was like we'll have to figure something out, I guess. But it's okay. Everything turned out alright. I'm alright. I need a signal. Here, we need a 3-3. Right side for here. Let me just do it. Just don't show it again. Stop it. There we go. Here. I need a left side version of this, just for right here. I need a 3-0 for over here. Right side, please. Signal 35 million. Somehow I get the feeling we haven't placed that many signals, but that's just me, I guess. Was I actually placing signals before every intersection? Because that means that I think the same as past me, which, makes a lot of sense, I guess, but did I? Yep, I was. I totally was. It's like, alright, one before every intersection. That works. But it's kind of overkill with real signals. When it comes down to the invisible signals where you're just trying to do it to keep trains close together, then I guess it makes plenty of sense because, it's not going to look ridiculous if you can't see the signals. If I hold down the mouse button, will it just go berserk? Totally will. It's pretty funny. Okay. Well, I hope that does it, but we will have to do more programming to make sure that it actually does anything. Adding in the track marks into their rotation is going to be pretty big, I think. Pretty useful. And most of these signals are already yellow or something because of the trams that currently exist. I'd really love to play around with them right now, but I cannot. Alright, load in. Back to what we were doing. Actually, we want to go back to this, or we want to go to Adams? Yeah, let's go to Adams. I was working over here, and I think there was more I had to do in terms of texturing before we continued with the other thing. I can't see. Oh. We were in the ground. We did do most of the work over here already. So that's good. But this area I think needs to be work done. This shouldn't be full of trees, huh? I bet you this is full of trees. We're going to have to delete 1,000,000 trees. Ready the deletion cannons. Oh, trees, where are you? Oh, they're over there. Wait for it. Oh, no, okay. We actually did remember to get rid of the trees over here. That's good. We do need to put the dirt underneath this road, though. Let's see. Texture. I think we have the right dirt. No, we don't. We were using seasonal forest underneath these roads. We're using a seasonal texture underneath the roads? That feels kind of silly. Then again, I don't really see the need for seasonal textures on this route where it's always going to be the same day. If I wanted to do a fully seasonal adaptive route, God, that would be a lot of work. And it would also severely limit the amount of assets that I could use, just limit me to only seasonal stuff. And even then, you can't really do that, because the buildings won't, grow snow if it starts to snow. The trees will do something, but that's about it. That's all you can rely on. It's just more worth it to make winterized versions of a route, well, if it's small enough. Or you just have it snow. If you really want snow, just change the weather to snow. What are we going to put in this area here? Some sort of grassy mud or muddy grass. I really would like to see some trains go through these areas, though, so I think I'm going to play around with this once I'm done. With this episode here. Okay. Fill in this area with some grass, because it needs it, not the grid. Okay. We will need some more grass, I think. Some grass lines in some areas that don't have them right now. Areas where we've had kind of tree overruns with where we were supposed to put the trees based on my previous thoughts with regard to what this area is going to look like. Then we put in all the trees. We put way more than I had, I think, originally intended. Gosh, that was a long time ago, though. We just moved on from Adams. We started working on the valley and everything. It's been such a long time since we've seriously considered it, aside from the sort of the rebuild we did of Adams not too long ago. And now it's done. But that's really it. It needs more trees. My computer is freaking out. I'm totally pegging my processor with all these trees and shadows and stuff. It's tough to want to make these routes, though, or if you have your textures and stuff turned down, you'll never know what it looks like when you're building. You don't know if it's going to look adequate. So that's kind of an issue. That's why I try to do the trees, as one of the last scenery passes. Zooming in and out like this. Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm looking forward to 2019. The performance boost. And even if it just looks exactly the same and I just get better frames out of it, that's a win for me. So what are we using for our embankments? Over here. Oz Forest Floor Darker. That TJ tunnel right there. I'm not going to have a whole lot to show for this other than those tram signals, though. I mean, I'd like to, I like to have those done. Like I say, everything or anything is something. If you're working on the route, you're working on the route. You're getting it furthered. We're working in the same area. So it's not like we've run off to do something completely different and ignored the section that needs to be done. We're not expanding our horizons any right now. And I don't know what I want this canyon to look like. I need to go look at some contemporary or some real-life examples. Maybe even the canyon with this bridge in reality. But it's a pretty steep-sided affair, so I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how realistic it is. But it is what it is. Oh, clearly it's at least somewhat realistic, because this bridge is a thing in real life. It just might not be quite as steep. It's definitely cool looking. I just need it to actually look textured. Give me the seasonal forest. We're using that for the ballast here on the VMR as well, by the looks. I'm sure there'll be something I build with basically no ballast. I'm liking the look of a lot of the areas that I've built without dense forest, though. And that's unusual for me in a way. I don't tend to like the open spaces, but that's in part because I don't really know how to build them. I don't have a whole lot of experience building, well, fields and such. Basically anything that isn't forested. And so I gravitate towards that. Because it's very simple for me to do. And it's simple for you to do, too. If you're watching the show, thinking about how do I do stuff, feel free to leave a comment, because as you guys probably know, or unless you're new, of course, I read all those comments out loud on the show, and then I answer them. Or at the very least, respond to them if they're not a question. I need my rocky texture. Cute. Rock cover. Yeah, just for this tunnel backing here. I think we did go all the way to the other side, so we'll be able to continue over there in a minute. I feel like things aren't as painful right now. The 5-meter grid is still giving me headaches, but maybe I'm just used to it. Like, not literal headaches. I mean headaches as in, it's just not, it's making it difficult for me to texture. Actually, I'll bet you no small part of it is the fact that I've done those computer upgrades that I've been talking about. Mason apparently has even more parts for me. I'm not sure how I'm going to employ them, but I know that I want them because, well, I mean, can you say no to free computer parts, really? We're doing that with this computer that was left here in the house, the former residents, owners, whatever. They want stuff off of it, but they don't really want the computer, and so we said, hey, well, we know it's old and whatever, instead of bothering to get rid of it, taking it to a tech dump or whatever, just, we'll take care of it. We'll do something with it. There's always use for busted up old computers in one way or another. It won't just be like an internet box. You take a 10-year-old computer and you wipe it of everything and just put, just hook it up to the internet. You basically have a Chromebook. That's all I can do. Also, I'm getting stuffy. It's a pollen-y sort of day. Yeah, I really need to think about what I want this to look like. I'm not sure what it's supposed to look like, even. I I just don't know. I've never done this before. Teehee, I've never done this before. Was I doing grass along the side of this? Because that's what I should continue doing if I want to keep going this way. Well, I mean, I was definitely doing grass in certain areas. Okay, yeah, I was doing grass. So this area was all swampy. That needs trees. That's the tree line right there. So this area is not supposed to have trees in it. So what am I supposed to put here? Swampy looking stuff. I think we'll come back to that because I'm not in the mood for working in this area. Alright, let's go somewhere else. Let's see. What could I do? We've got 45 minutes. I need to take a drink of water. Let's think about textures for these pastures. You know, because this is going to be a lot of area. So let's look at what texture we can make. No, that looks like we're in the wild, wicked wild. That actually looks not half bad. Jim West, Desperado. That doesn't look good. Even spun, it looks awful. So not that. Let's see. What about rough grass? It's got too much definition. It looks terrible when spun, or even when spun. What is that? SC Rocks 3 Ballast? Or Schumwasser? Nope. Schumwasser. Nope. This looks like the best bet so far. Scrub. Oh, man, I didn't realize we had gram as a texture. Seasonal grass. Awful. Nope. No. Nothing has beaten this so far. That's slightly better, I think. I kind of like this. Let's just lay it out like, or with this, and just see what we think. I don't think it's going to be half bad, honestly. This looks very good, and I really hope I can use it, but we're using it, so. It probably doesn't even look half bad unspun, but I'm not going to do that. That's beneath me. Okay. And maybe we'll keep off the hills with this and use a different texture on the hills. But that would require much more thinking on my part. And I really just want to get these areas filled in as best I can. But doing this means we can actually do quite a bit of area along the that should not be this. That should be trees. Oh wait, no. Okay, back to what we were doing. Give me a grill texture. It's very clearly texture that we've added there for the grid as like an eraser, because it doesn't have the 5-meter grid lines at all. But, you know, it is what it is. You know how we had that blue grid for a while? Where the hell did we get that, and why did it go away? I'm glad it went away. You know, the yellow grid is a lot easier to see, the grid lines, but I don't even know where it came from. It was just boom, suddenly I had a blue grid. And then it just went away on its own. All on its own. Okay, so we've got this big swath of pasture land, or at least part of a big swath of pasture land. And we'll do this river up in something a little bit different. There we go. But for now, we'll just paint everything this color. See, the thing is, I don't know about these hills being a different texture. I'm just not sure. A, if it's worth doing. B, if we can even really make it look good. But I really like stumbling into these textures, which you can just use. I mean, look at this. It looks so, you know, it's clearly very flat and bland, but it looks so good otherwise. And that's the best thing about it, because a lot of these textures, even when you scale them way up, the textures themselves, they just don't look good if you spread them out over a huge area. Like, you know, every single other one that we tried, it's because they have too much contrast within themselves, too much definition. I don't really need that in a texture. If I want something with that much detail, I'm probably going to put down an object. You know, I want something, if it's random, make it really random. Make it random enough that if you tile it, it still looks random. Obviously, you're going to see a pattern if, you know, if it's low enough detail, etc. But, you know, make it at least random enough so that when it's spun, it's really random. And some of these things that aren't random at all, that clearly have a texture, they still look pretty good when you spin them, just because they don't have a whole lot of contrast. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a texture maker. I don't think I could make a texture. But I know what kind of textures I need. I know what kind of textures I'm looking for. But the Great Tolbrin Reskin project is not about textures. Alright, so let's just wrap up this here. I think I'm going to try and hit as many of these as I can with this texture as best I can. It would really fill in a huge area between the swamp and here if we managed to get all these areas that are basically cow pasture. And then what I think we can do is we'll just add a handful of, you know, a smattering of random trees. Maybe if we get a big square of trees, but not like a dense one like a forest, but just a square of trees. A large square of loosely spaced trees. And we select only the objects, and then we can move the, and then we can copy and paste that square specifically. And so then we'll have very loosely spaced trees throughout these areas. Also, alternately, I can add little stands of trees on these areas that we're not adding this texture. That would also make a bit of sense. Now, I think Ashbury Ranch, way up in the hills, came out pretty good, and drawing on that for inspiration for these sort of areas, I think, is useful. That said, it is still something that I pretty much wholly came up with myself, So that doesn't mean it necessarily has any basis in reality or, properly looks any good. So, I don't know about it. I like it, but that doesn't mean it looks real. And it doesn't mean it's good. This is one of these areas where I decided to have some fun with making detail while we were out there building. Just so that, if you think about it, a lot of railroads, particularly model railroads or trains railroads, there's a lot to see. It's not really that empty. And I bring up model railroads and trains railroads because people tend to compress the distances down between this town and the next, between, this yard and the next. They tend to try to fill in all the empty spaces with industries and things to do. And I'm trying to strike that real balance between, there are a lot of things along the side of a railroad, but sometimes there are large empty spaces with really nothing at all. However, sometimes those large empty spaces with really nothing at all are really just large empty spaces where you can't get to anything from the railroad tracks. And there's plenty going on around, just the railroad doesn't have anything to do with it. So that's something to keep in mind as well, That's why I've been trying to focus on not just the railroad stuff, but also the other roads and, these little places like Treadway Beach or even Ashbury Ranch, to come right back to it, which really has nothing to do with the railroad at all. It just happens to be along the side of the railroad. Something that a lot of model railroads like to have is like a carnival scene or like a building burning down or, these things that you can look at and go, oh wow, look at that, that's really cool. These sort of spectacles. And I'm not sure if I want to do that. I know I do want to have an amusement park down in Gilson City because, let's be honest, why would I miss that opportunity? But I know that there's not necessarily going to be everything going on at once. I'm not trying to seek out the cliches of railroads, of model railroads, to try and fill in space on this map. I want to have a map that is basically as realistic as I can get it. And I know I've said realistic 100,000 times during the course of under construction. And I don't even know if I'm doing a really good job with it. But I'm trying to do a good job. I'm trying to do it. I want to have a product where in the end it is, wow, look at how cool this thing turned out. Look how real this is. Look how, the operations are realistic and, yada yada yada. I think this is one of my new favorite grass textures. We need to find a river texture. Just something to put in the water. Yeah, we've laid down the base coat now. Let me get in there with a bit of a finer brush and get these edges that we missed. And these little holes that we didn't quite get in. These little gaps in the hills where we can afford to put some grass without making it look silly. Okay. So the thing is, this area here, I need grid again. Where's the grid? Right here. This area here is not supposed to be like pasture necessarily. But I suppose it would be. Maybe not cows, or maybe not dairy cows specifically. But, they'd be there. Here we have another dairy pasture. Here we have another non-dairy pasture. Here we have another, I think this is a dairy pasture. Yes, it is. And another one on this side. Okay. And that pretty much brings us up to the edge there. So let's go get that texture back and keep filling these areas in. I don't know about the non-dairy pastures, although I will probably use the same thing. Let's see. What else would you need that much space for? I mean, sheep, maybe? We have our little sheep pen over there. I mean, even non-dairy cows, like beef cows, that, bulls. Or not bulls. Would they be bulls? Are beef cows bulls? I don't know how that works. I don't know how cows work. Straighten that out. Oh. Might want to change this just a bit. And this way. Okay. Okay. I keep saying okay. I'm just trying to make sure that all these fences are straight in the way that they're supposed to be straight and curved in the way that they're supposed to be curved. I just want to make sure everything is A-okay before I leave and start grabbing texture and start growing grass. Okay. Again. This area is a dairy farm, so we definitely are using this texture. Why is this dairy farm texture? It's really just grazing land texture, I think. But we're going to have to come in here and do all sorts of detail work anyway around these barns. Add little farmhouses, add a couple other things. I mean, we need a road into here. We're probably going to need some cattle guards for these roads. These cows apparently are not that smart. There was something that I read that a cow figured out that if it slid on its belly, it could get across the cattle guards. And apparently it was basically an unstoppable cow. They didn't have a way to keep it in. I mean, you can just put it in a little pen, but that's not, that's not what they needed with the cow. They needed the cow to be out in, getting food and everything. Out in the grazing land, eating and walking around and blah, blah, blah. And it would just keep finding cattle guards and crossing them. I would assume the reason it was, truly quote-unquote unstoppable is because they didn't realize how it was getting out until somebody managed to catch it getting out and realized, oh, it figured out how to get across the cattle guards and not there's a hole in the fence somewhere. It's amazing to me, having gone out west, looking at all the, the miles and miles and miles of fences along all these, along every right-of-way that there is, just to keep the cows out, basically. Or, keep the cows into very specific areas. It's just amazing to me that all that fence exists. Seems like such a pain to keep track of, too. Pain to put up, pain to keep track of. But, hey, if that's the land you need, that's the land you need. Okay. Yep, keep going. None of these hills are steep enough that I need to, do anything crazy with. See, the thing is, when I linger with terraining in any specific area, the hills just get way out of control. I'm sure Westerners wouldn't bat an eye, but I'm looking at them and going, yikes, that's a lot of hill. And I made it. I've got to deal with it. We need a smaller radius brush for this area here. Alright, so I'm just going to do this here, do that there. Yeah, I do like working on these textured areas and everything like that. It really is kind of therapeutic. Although it makes me sort of want to just lean back and do whatever, listen to something. At the same time, it's also real boring. And it's, it can be difficult to think about, oh, well, what do I talk about now when I'm just leisurely, lazily filling in area with grass texture. Let's see. Actually, you know what I want here? I kind of want a little pond. Come along, pond. This whole area here. I'm not sure how high I can make this water without ruining everything, but... Uh-oh. I have a bad feeling about this. Okay, yeah, that's higher than I thought. So how much do I have to lower this before it stops causing a problem on the railroad tracks? Oh, never mind, it's just lower here. Great. We'll just raise this area subtly. Yeah, real subtle. Yeah, there really should be like a culvert under these tracks or something, because that would flood in a heartbeat. Or, well, at least they should be raised up on an embankment. Oh, well. Actually, no, you know what? I can still do that. I'm God. Well, the whole reason these tracks are up here is because the tracks down there would flood too often. So the story goes. Do that, and that. Now it's on a bit of an embankment. Looks kind of weird, but at least it looks sort of appropriate. Looks kind of cool, honestly. We can keep changing this stuff around as long as we're working in this area. Once we're done with the area, we don't really get to come back to it, because I don't want to be spending tons of time on area that's already quote-unquote completed, unless somebody asks me to come back to it because they found something that's amiss or incomplete. Then I will gladly come back to it. I want to please the viewers. So, let's just sneak this along the edge of the right-of-way here, and then we'll add something up on these hills. Again, probably trees. We should probably move this up by the road instead of in the water. That makes sense to me. I feel like, aside from a couple of minor instances where we have these guys in water, not really good to put them in water. You know, if you're crossing a river, that's one thing, but putting it just through the middle of a lake, I feel like isn't smart or realistic. And those two things kind of go hand in hand. Okay, so let's, again, just get up to the edge of this lake, and we'll deal with what the water features look like later in terms of texture. And let's get this corner over here. Let's not neglect the other side. I feel like I want to add something here by this lake, though, like just a little house or shack or something that's just within the land here. And we're missing a corner square of water. There we go. So let's look at this real quick. So we have one field here, one field here. So that doesn't actually fill up as much space as I kind of was hoping it would. But, whatever. I should be happy with it anyway. It's a lot of work. We've got, this area is going to be forested. And I really need to, I think next episode we'll be doing some grass along the sides of stuff. I need to go find that other creamery. I also need to put a road through here. Before I do much else, I just want to make sure that I remember that a road has to go here, so let me go grab a road. Is this an orphan section of road? It doesn't actually go to anything? It goes from nowhere to nowhere. Yeah, first of all, I need to add things on the end of it to stop vehicles from spawning. Oh, I did add them. They're still spawning. Secondly, I should probably change it to, gravel. I can just cut straight across the field here. Yeah, there we go. Nothing to worry about. These guys, yeah, they have a dirt road. Actually, that's what I should do. When I go to texture that other area with that, crap. Orphan section of road. When I go to texture that, then I will probably change it out from an actual spline to just some texture that looks like it used to be a road. Let's see. What texture do I have? Okay, I still have the right texture. Let's keep working on this. This area here. I have on my, quote, Tolbrand Plus map, which is sort of like a paper map. I have that there was a proposed extension, or a proposed cutoff, that would use this, because this wraps all the way around, it's a chain of islands, that would run a line this way, across this strait, and then that way, to Jefferson, which is 15 miles in that direction. Yeah. It was just a weird thought I had, we have all this area, why don't, we have this weird thing set up. I feel like we should, toy around with it, at least in the hypothetical. Not actually, but in the hypothetical. It was planned, or proposed, but never built. Okay, so this is actually, I think, the smallest field that we have. Yeah, it is, by quite a bit. It's also the closest to the swamp. Not that that really has anything to do with anything, but that's where it is. We'll have to find a way to do some detail on these, like I mentioned before, with maybe copy-pasting large swaths of empty area with a few trees that have sprouted, or maybe doing that kind of thing by hand. Either one would be possible and not overly difficult. maybe just a bit time-consuming. Obviously, the copy-pasting one invites crashes, but trees in general just invite crashes, so I think I'll just bite the bullet and do whichever one I feel like is best, probably on air. And, well, if you have one that you think is best, say so. But if we do crash, if it's within like the first hour of the show, then I'll reboot. And if it's not, then I'll probably just sign off, especially if it's in like the last half hour. So, yeah. Oh. Ooh, I almost missed quite a bit with that. I need a smaller radius for this corner here. There we go. Somebody has messaged me. Dun dun dun. Hope it's not important. Where's my phone? Oh, my phone's in the other room. That could be bad. Okay, nobody messaged me. It wasn't directed at me, as far as I know. Okay, so let's finish this up and then think for a second on what we've got to do. Although I think there might be one more creamery. Oh yeah, there is. It's like on the other side of the tracks right here. It's like right over there. Yep. Okay, so we can fill in that one too. I kind of just want to use this grass as like a, just fill in the other farms with it and just call it a day, because I don't think we're going to find a better one. I don't think we're going to find a better grass. It is so weird to just stumble across this. Actually, is this? No, this is Oz grass. I don't think we've used this before. It's probably built in. I hope it's built in. Hold on. Let's see if my heart is going to be broken or not. I think all the Oz stuff is built in. Because it's Australian. The game is Australian. It's Grass Oz. And Oz... Where's Ozgrass? Ozgrass is installed from DLS. Okay, good enough. Happy with that. This comes in this way and avoids the farm itself. This is the bumpiest farm that we have. Most of the other area is just going to be filled in with trees, because that's just what I do. I eat, John. It's what I do. And we've got 12 minutes or so just to finish up this area here. I know this hasn't been exactly riveting, but at least I did that signal work today. I'd like to toy around with that more, and we're probably going to be doing... we probably need to name those signals if we're going to stick with them, which I think we are. And set up the interlockings for, well, all the other interlockings, and also, of course, set up the track marks and the schedules, the new schedules, that use all those track marks for the trolleys, because, yeah. There's going to be a point in the day where, there's the peak period in the morning, and then... maybe send 2 of them to the car barn and just use the main line or something. And then there's the peak period in the evening where you bring all four of the trolleys out. If I feel like we need more, if I feel like we need if we need 8 again, or if we need at least 2 more or something, then I'll add them back. I just reduce the number of trolleys. I got rid of 1 of each because of the issues that they were having, where I believe they were conflicting with one another. I'm not sure what was actually causing it, but yeah. Just the fact that they would all pile up in one spot, and then they would refuse to go anywhere, or they would try to drive backwards. So the lack of signals in the backwards direction, I think, definitely contributed to that. I can probably toy around with the interlockings a little bit more. Oh, excuse me. But I've learned that things don't always work the way I want them to work in an ideal situation. And also that, a lot of the time, it's better off just locking all the junctions and doing things with an interlocking tower. But the difference is, specifically for the trams, I'm trying to lower the number of commands that I'm doing, although it won't matter if I can get the copy from commands thing to work properly. Which, I would have liked to do that on stream. I was going to poke around with it during the week. But I am not really sure if... or I didn't really have the time to. I was working from home a few days, but it was the kind of thing where we've been pretty busy at work, and I wasn't going to take the time. Like, I can run Sims during the day, because I don't need to do anything, except look with my eyeballs. And that's, fine, and I can take notes or whatever, but I can't troubleshoot during the day because I have to be working. That said, because I was working from home, I sat on my laptop, on my work laptop, for hours after I should have been working. Hours after I had clocked out, effectively. And played on my hardcore save. And I ended up making a new home in an overturned ship. Or, well, a partially overturned ship that's beached on a little island in the middle of the ocean. I was looking for desert because I needed to get tons of glass so I could smelt them, turn them into glass paints, and sell them to a cartographer because I want a map to one of those big mansions, to a haunted mansion or whatever. And in order to level him up to that point, I need to grease his palms a little bit with both buying things from him and selling things to him, and his trade came up with glass paints. Why glass paints? I really don't know. So I just needed to go get a bunch of glass, and I had not yet found a desert. And I went exploring, and exploring, and exploring, and exploring, and exploring, and I didn't find a desert, and I'm like, what the hell? So I came to this ocean, and I just decided, alright, I'm going to go across the ocean on a boat, and hopefully I will find what I'm looking for. And I did, after passing this massive icy continent. Which is like, wow, clearly I'm going in exactly the wrong direction. This is such a cute little setup here. What is this? Oh, it's just stonework. Am I just going to use this for this land here? I don't know. That filled in a lot less area than I really hoped it would. I'm not going to lie. Well, speaking of filling area in, let's fill in this area here. I guess we're back here now. I need some bluffs. Let's see, I'll just use this rocky texture that I keep using because I love it so very, very much. Come on. Come on. Don't crash now. Alright. I also used this along the edge here. Did I do that last episode, or did I do that just while I was on here on my own? I think I might have done it last episode. Like I said, I did come on a little bit, and I started working on stuff, including those signals, and then I went, I need to go look for more, and then I did, and then I never had time to actually put them into use. So, what about this? Well, that looks terrible. That, it doesn't look the worst, but it doesn't really look good. Course, C-O-U-R-S-E. God damn it. Idiots. That looks like weird grass. Hold on, what was that? Cliff 15. No, that looks terrible. That looks even worse. This looks like pavement. Doesn't look realistic at all. Or it doesn't look natural at all, I should say. Oh, I've used this before. Oh man, I remember that texture. I just almost got nostalgia from a texture. Who am I kidding? I kind of did. I want something grassy and rocky, but not quite as grassy as what we were just using. That's my default texture there. But I guess I can just use it. If I find something better later. This is way more grassy and less rocky than what I was thinking about. But honestly, it doesn't look half bad. At the same time, it looks kind of squishy. I'm not sure I like it. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this rock. About this right here. I really don't know. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. It doesn't look appropriate. It doesn't look good. So, let's just go back to this. This is ocean, mind you. It looks similar, but just not, you know. I feel like I could make use of it. I just don't know, you know. I just don't know how effectively. Or how to make it very effective. Well, we got this cliff done. That's something that's been kind of nagging at me. One more thing that we need. I need to run to Mason Valley for it. I need a white picket fence. There you are. Yoink. It's really called railway fence? Okay. I just want to use it all over the place down here. Between these stamped out houses. Come on, load in. That's really kind of it. Just want some fences between these houses. Yeah, that looks real. There we go. And particularly those. I'm not sure about these. I'll have to do something with them, but I'm not sure what yet. Either way, it's coming along. I know we didn't do much down here this week, but we'll return to it next week or something like that. This area is... I think it's going to be good when it's done. We need to think more about the texturing and start working on getting a lot of this empty area filled in. But I was sort of moving in this direction, so maybe I need to look at RJ Canyon and finish filling that in first. Maybe we should have a bit of a return to form with working from this end of the map. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a comment if you'd like me to talk about something. This is the Admiral, signing off.